Hey guys, it's Jared here. Welcome back to the Space Wheel channel. So happy to be back. It's been 8 or 9 months since I've released a video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about creating AAA style graphics or assets as a solo dev or a small indie game studio. So I am a developer that likes to do the work myself. I also just really enjoy creating assets. So during this video, instead of sitting here watching me blab all day, I'm going to be playing a video of me creating one of the assets for my game. So let's go jump into that. So what I'm referring to when I say AAA graphics, I'm talking about games like Red Dead Redemption, Gears of War, Left 4 Dead, and all three of these games have completely different graphics, but they're all shooting for realism. Like I feel like most of us would say Left 4 Dead don't have the best graphics, but they were shooting for realism. And the game I'm working on currently, that's what I'm also trying to shoot for. The graphics in my game are definitely not going to be on par with Red Dead Redemption or Gears of War, but I feel like maybe Left 4 Dead. I doubt that too. Now there is a method that I usually use when I'm creating my realistic models, and that is going from high poly to low poly. Now, I don't always use this method. Like the video you're seeing now, I'm going from, I'm actually just doing the low poly, and then I'm taking it into 3D Coat, so I can do all the texturing there, and I can actually do use smart materials to create like the wood and all those types of things. Now, I feel like a lot of us solo devs or small studios, we get stuck in this place of, should I buy assets? I have a few different takes and opinions on that. I'm not a huge fan of buying assets because I think creating the assets yourself is going to give you more flexibility to your story. Like the narrative that you're telling in your game, you can tell much more of a better narrative that's focused on how you want to tell it when you're able to create those models yourself. Because once you start buying a lot of assets, those assets will start telling the story for you. And I'll give you this story too. I recall hearing a streamer. He plays a lot of indie horror games, and I remember him playing a new horror game, and when he was playing it, he said, this asset looks very familiar, and he was talking about the home, and he was like, surely they would at least moved around some assets. And I remember him going into a room and saying, if this is the same asset, then there's going to be a pizza box open with this many pieces missing. And he went to that room, and there laid the pizza box with that many pieces missing. And you just kind of hate to see it because, again, it feels like the assets are telling the story because it's the exact same house as somebody else used in their game. So if you're liking this new style of video that I'm trying out, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and lets me know that you guys are liking these videos. I'm also getting very close to releasing the trailer to my next game. Once that trailer is out, I'm also trying to work on a course to help you guys on using different methods to create game assets. Now, I will say this too, I do buy assets myself, so I'm not completely against it. A lot of the assets that I buy for my game are things that don't really need a story to them. I guess they could if you wanted, but like, for instance, I'm working on a theme park right now, and some of the assets that I've bought are like benches and trash can. I actually made the trash can. So not the trash can, but the benches, maybe the street lamps. If I felt like it didn't fit the game, I wouldn't care to make them myself. But, you know, as a solo dev, and you guys know this, you have to find ways to save time. And if you're literally creating every single asset, it's going to take you years and years and years. I would say to buying assets, just make sure that you're not manipulating the story that you envision for your game. Because the model I'm even making right now, there's 100,000 ticket booths that I can buy online. But I wanted it to fit the theme of being a water park. In my mind, I knew I wanted a octopus on top of the ticket booth. You know, me deciding that I'm going to create this model added, I think this model took 3 or 4 days. Now I want to talk about a few differences when you're making a low poly game versus the AAA style game. Like I said before, when I was, my workflow when I'm making high poly is usually sculpting and retopologizing, and those things take a lot of time. So with low poly, you're cutting that workflow in half. You're really just making one model, and then you're texturing it, and you're moving on with your life. You have to make a very clear decision when you first start your game, whether it's going to be realistic graphics or low poly. And this is why a lot of indie games shoot for low poly, because you're going to be saving a lot of time, and you can put more, I would say you could put more story into the game. I've recently been playing Lethal Company with my friends, and I've enjoyed that game so much because there's so much content. and it's a low poly game, and they're able to crank out assets very quickly. So it's really up to you whether you want to go low poly or realistic, but just know that the time that it takes to create a realistic asset is quite a bit more than a low poly. You also have to think about the detail. Like, how much detail do you need in this model? So it's your choice to make a AAA style game or a low poly game. I think you have to really think about your skill level and know different methods on how to get things done faster if you need. I know when I first started making models for my first commercial game, I was very, very slow. Very slow. And I'm speeding up now, but it's taken a year of creating that game and moving on to this game and having a lot more models to make. So just think about the time commitment. And like I said at the beginning of the video, it's been 7 or 8 months since I've posted, and a big reason for that is because I'm spending so much time working on assets to try to get this trailer out. And so it does take a lot of time, but this is just something to think about. And whether you decide to go AAA or low poly, like either way, you can make a good game. And this was the final result to my ticket booth. I was pretty happy about how it turned out. If you did stick around to the end, please make sure you hit that like button, and have a good day, guys.